All right, on to the square root function, or x to the 1/2. Now, I make my kids write both, right? I put this on every quiz where we rewrite the square root as the 1/2 power. I've noticed a lot of your lower kids, the kids who shouldn't necessarily be placed in Algebra 2, struggle with exponents. But let's start by graphing the mother function, and then we'll talk about the general transformation form for it. So this is the mother function, the square root of x, and believe it or not, the smallest thing that you can take the square root of is 0. So that's how we start our table. You take the square root of 0, and if you take the square root of 0, you still get a 0 back. You can also take the square root of 1, and you get a 1. And if you want a third point, you take the square root of 4, and you get a 2. So there's our 3 key points for the mother function square root of x. 0, 0, 1, 1, and 4, 2. When I give these quizzes, I only let kids plot the 2 points on the square root function. But there she is. I call it the arm. That's what it is. It's an arm. It looks like this. Now, we're going to apply the general transformation form to it. So let's take this f, and the function is square root of that. And we'll do 2 examples like I've been doing. And A is, again, our vertical stretch. Think of it as the initial slope. That's the big thing on graphing. B is your horizontal stretch. First example won't have B. H will be there. H is your horizontal shift, opposite of whatever sign you see, okay? And K is your vertical shift up and down. You can trust that one. So let's make one up. Let's do f of x equals, let's do a fraction. I ain't done a fraction in a couple of videos. 1/2 the square root of x minus 3, and then plus 4. Now, how is this thing being shifted? Okay, inside the square root is a negative 3, so h is actually positive 3. We shift right 3. Outside would be your k. K is 4, so that's an up 4. And again, this is coming from a square roots of x minus h plus k. It's a lineup process. That's all it is a lineup process. I wish I could make kids see that clear. I can't do it. They struggle. Now, the a value here is 1/2. And everything in this world is understood to exist over a 1. So what does this mean? It means the initial slope is to rise 1/2 as we run 1 right. That's what it means. I only make kids do 2 points. So we're going to have to go right 3 and up 4. And that's going to be where this thing starts. And this, again, I like to do these, think of it as the new origin. It's where this function originates from. Just think of it as a new origin. And we're going to have to rise 1/2 as we run 1. So rise 1/2 as we run 1. And we just draw a little arm. And we have it. And A was 1/2, which is a compression. It got pushed down. So that's not bad. It's really not. I know how kids feel about graphing, but graphing is not bad. And I tell kids all the time, you'll never be great at algebra unless you also are great at graphs. The graphs are so important. I forgot to talk about domain and range on that one, so I'll make sure I do it on the next one. Always got to talk about domain and range, right? Always got to talk about domain and range. Let's do one where we can do this little trick where we work the b term out. And let's throw a fraction on it, just make it look horrible. All right? Let's see here. Let's put a 4 out front. Let's call this f of x equals 4. And let's use exponential notation. 1/4 x plus 1 to the 1/2 plus 3. Okay, so I put exponential notation on there. And I know how that makes kids feel about things. you are allowed to, in essence, distribute that 1/2 power to both terms. And I'm going to do a rewrite for you here, okay? So we have 4 times the 1/2 power is the square root of a quarter times the square root of x plus 1 and then plus 3. Now, what is the square root of a quarter? The square root of a quarter would be the square root of 1 over the square root of 4. The square root of 1 is 1 and the square root of 4 is 2. So this becomes 4 times 1/2 times the root of x plus 1 plus 3. Now, half of 4, believe it or not, is 2. So this becomes 2 roots of x plus 1 plus a 3. And this is the cleaned up, pretty version of the original thing, which is the one that I can graph pretty good. It won't be too hard. We have an a value of 2. We have an h value of -1, always opposite. And we have a k value of 3. So we're going to go left 1, rise 3, and then have an initial slope of 2. Left 1, rise 3, and there's your new origin. It's also the starting place or the origination of the new function. And the slope is to rise 2. Remember, that's the initial slope. We're going to rise 2 as we run 1. It's had a vertical stretch done. The arm is growing twice as fast as the mother function. Now, I said I'd talk about domain and range on here. Domain is your x values. The smallest x value of this particular function is 0. No, sorry, not 0. It's -1. And then it runs right forever to infinity. Or if you like set builder notation, curly brace, all values of x such that x is greater than or equal to -1. Your range, which is your y values. Now, if you're a teacher watching this, you may not realize this, but an alarming number of kids have no idea what domain and range are. Or maybe you do. It's kind of shocking how many kids just kind of sit there on autopilot all day, being little zombies. It doesn't seem to matter how many times you say something. They just don't want it. And I don't know how to fix that. I really wish I did. I really, really wish I did. The smallest y value I see is a 3. And then the graph rises, even though it increases slower as it moves right, but eventually it rises all the way to infinity. Or, again, if a kid likes set builder, don't penalize them for it. All values of y such that y is greater than or equal to 3. And there you go. That is the square root function. It wasn't bad. None of them are. They're all actually really simple. You just have to memorize what moms look like. That's all you have to do is memorize what moms look like. Oh, there we go.